Okay, here we are. So thank you everyone for joining. It's awesome to have these updates. We have done this one. It is as relevant for clients of Shazamme as well as in general recruitment staffing agencies that may not yet be using Shazamme. We try to keep the industry ahead of the curve of what's going on, and there are seriously so many cool things going on at the moment. They might be cool if you're doing them. They're not going to be cool if you're not. So we thought that this webinar is the perfect opportunity to really highlight some of the opportunities that you should be thinking about today, moving forwards with your brands to make sure that you remain above the curve of everyone else. And we'll run through that. I haven't actually updated this slide. It will be myself, Rick, and also Manuel joining us to run through some of these pieces. Unfortunately, the majority of it's going to be you listening to me talk, as everyone else is compromised and not feeling well, but all good. So this one is, tips, tricks, must see, latest exciting releases. So the first thing and here's most of the people who are on this call, there are our QR codes if we're not connected on LinkedIn, which I'd be quite surprised. But Manuel has been with us for some time now as well, and he's now in the product area as well as support, and is a wealth of knowledge, and we'll be building that on different products. We've got so many new things coming as well, which we'll tackle at the end of this presentation. So thank you for joining us. First of all, I just want to reiterate that marketing is definitely a recruitment play, a marketing play, and AI definitely is starting to lead the way, and we'll touch on some of that because it's quite exciting, the new changes that are coming. One of the things I always talk about is the website being the foundation of your brand. You can be doing a lot of noise out in the World Wide Web, but if it doesn't all go back to a mothership, which is that central brand, you're missing out on opportunities, and you're also potentially breaking down the user experience. We want to make sure that you're found by the right people. And this always shifts, as everyone in recruitment knows. If we were talking a year ago, we'd be going, how do we attract relevant talent to our brands? We need more candidates, and now here we are talking about the requirement to get more employers finding our brands again, depending on your industry, of course. And that, as we know, that ducks and weaves and changes based on the economy and what's going on. But there are ways of really tailoring a site or setting up a site so it can attract both of those users, as well as the opportunity to recruit internally, which you might want to do too. So we'll talk about building a successful brand and make sure that you've got all these things in place. Now, this is the one for me that was a big game changer. I presented at the Recruitment Agency Expo in London, and a lot of this stuff was quite new to me then, and that was last week. So we're talking about AI and the new search revolution, and what is that going to mean for you guys and your brand? So we've always talked a lot about SEO and making sure that you came up in searches, but now with the evolution of chat automation, AI, as well as Google itself changing things to be now an answer engine. So when people type things in, it answers questions. We want to make sure that you've set your brands up to be at the forefront of being able to answer those questions that go on in those platforms. And there's some ways that you can be thinking about doing that. So a couple of those are, think about if somebody says, who's the best medical recruiter in Australia? And I'm not going to say it because all my devices will go off, but that could be, the Siri one or that Apple one or the Alexa one. We want to make sure that you're optimized for voice search as well as the AI chat GPTs and different versions of that. So get yourself on to maps. All the maps that are out there, make sure you set up your company on the mapping platforms, and there's Bing and there's Apple, and there's each of the search engines have their own directories as well. So you can put your business profiles on there, and we'll touch on that as well in a minute when we showcase the Google My Business page, but very important you get yourself onto maps. And the big thing here is it's time to start adapting your brand to make sure that you're being picked up when these searches go on via other mechanisms, not just SEO. Otherwise, what's going to start to occur is you're going to become less and less relevant as the top of the pages become taken up with answers to questions. Returning, what they're trying to do is return direct, no-click results. So literally, I say, who's the best legal recruiter in Sydney? It'll say, and the companies that have set their websites up correctly will say, XYZ company is the best legal recruitment agency in Sydney because, and that's all pulling from the website. So the idea is they'll literally just be able to contact that company directly from there, potentially not even visiting the website, or they'll click that link on your website. We'll talk about more tips and tricks to make that happen so that you are put in that situation in the first place to be found. So we want that to happen for both job seekers and obviously employers. With the evolution of Google's search results, as well as ChatGPT and different platforms, one of the things that they look at is that a brand is fresh. That's one thing people to people won't have to worry about at all, as well as Chris. You guys have recently updated things, but look at a brand and to call them out. But one of our clients, and we're lucky enough at the moment to have one of the team on here, they're constantly updating content, new pages, running competitions, lots of different things. So what that means to a search engine is that it's it's modern, there's updated content. It's not old and stagnant. The days of building a website and just leaving it sit there until, all of a sudden you think, oh gosh, this just looks ugly. They're gone. You need to be continuing to evolve your brand. And the biggest thing right now for me that I find exciting, anyone who jumps on this bandwagon and understands the changes in this, they're going to be able to rise above a lot of their competitors quite quickly, because it's going to be hard for everyone to keep up with this if they don't have, and shameless plug, but if you've not got the website technology to foundationally back this up so that you can move with speed and make changes and updates without paying every time and being hampered by coding and everything else, you're going to get left behind. So flexible, nimble, fast is what we need to be in today's age. The big thing here, there has been a few conversations around, with AI coming in, it's going to kill SEO, it's going to go away. It's not. It's really going to enhance it. It's really just revolutionizing the space. So welcome to a new player, just another acronym that we all need when there's so many already in this industry, AEO, and it's Answer Engine Optimization. So I did do a quick search over here for an example on an FAQ example for a recruitment agency, and it literally brings up, questions and answers of things that you should be putting onto your website. Topical things like ask your teams, what are the questions you're always being asked? You want to get the FAQs onto your website so that questions are being asked and you're answering them. And that could be in FAQs down the bottom of each potentially sector page that we'll talk about further along, or it could be even when you write blogs. And I've got a good hack in a minute, a hack that each of you can use for your content writing. You need to start thinking when you're putting content on your website, how can I write this for AEO as well, so that the answer engine situation allows people to find you. If anyone's got questions, or team, if there's an issue, I can't see anyone, so please just let me know. Okay. So what you need to be thinking about now, basic keywords. We used to think SEO was difficult and getting optimized for keywords. it's now getting even more complex, but it doesn't need to be scary. There is a strategy, but it's now keywords alone aren't it. So we need to be thinking about, they value expertise. Are you sharing content? Are you driving traffic to your website that is engaging with your content? Are they spending time there? Are they, downloading things? Are they clicking buttons? Are they submitting forms? Things like that. So you just need to be thinking about how can we keep, moving the dial on that. Some of the things as far as expertise, obviously your blogging, news, videos, podcasts, credibility. So we will touch upon this further as well, but things like reviews, and make sure if you are getting reviews that they're on a platform that's going like Google reviews, Google business reviews. People trust them. They go there, they see them. We know they're real. And the thing with that is it's also going to help with SEO, because Google loves to see that people are liking your brand. They want to send people to credible, modern, up-to-date, and interesting websites. So that's what we need to make sure you have built. Structured content, so making sure that things are structured in a way that it's easy to understand and read, not only for the user, but also for search engines. There's a bit of work to be done, but the good thing is AI can actually help us achieve a lot of the things that we need to get on our brands quite quickly and simply, with a little bit of strategy behind it. So think structured content, laying it out properly. The FAQs, I think, is a great idea because you can ask questions, answer them yourself. If anyone didn't know, there's also a FAQ area in Google My Business where you can ask questions yourself if you need to. Why is XYZ company the best recruitment agency in the world? And then you can answer it yourself. Or it could be the other things that are relevant to your industry and answer the questions, and that will help with the AI-driven answer and question and answer sort of structure. Industry insights. So we'll touch on a few tools in a minute that are going to help you become that destination that people want to go to find information. And we'll run through some of that. But obviously blogging, asking your team, what are the questions we're always being asked? What are you always being asked? Write it down. And then doing blogs on that, or FAQs on that, or creating videos and training or whatever on that. I mentioned before, it's all about now creating potentially a zero-click experience from when a search goes on to your brand. So we want to make that as seamless as possible. We talk a little bit about, leveraging the AI tools that are out there. So we will touch on chatbots. There's lots of them out there. Can be quite overwhelming, but there's free chatbots all the way through to paid and automated ones. Definitely, there's a lot of naysayers out there talking about AI content and how it's negative on a brand. It's certainly not. That's not what we're seeing from a results-driven perspective. AI content is extremely good if you give it the right prompts and you personalize it. And I'll give you that hack in a minute that helps with that. But also you've got to obviously read it and make sure that you're happy with that content, and the fact that it does make sense, and add and tweak it to humanize it even more. I would be saying for each of you, this is something, we're in a very fast moving world, but we need to embrace AI. It's here and we can turn a blind eye to it. And the people, the employers that you're working with, need to understand why you're an expert at this and how that's going to help you in your hiring, because you want to work smarter, faster, more seamlessly, and ideally for the employer, they potentially see that as a cost savings. That might mean the placement happens sooner and those sorts of things. But do learn about it, become an expert, because it's going to be the differentiator of smart companies that are progressive, than ones that are stuck in the dark ages, still saying, oh, we won't use that because, it's not human. You've got to embrace it. This is the prompt. And just so everyone knows, don't worry, you don't need to copy this down or whatever. You can if you want to, obviously, or take a screenshot of it. We will send this to you afterwards. But this prompt, really what it's about is you're typing this into the search engine. No, not the search engine, sorry, the AI chat engine. And you're saying, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to write copy for my business. And then you put, if you're wanting to write 10 pages of website copy or LinkedIn posts or sales emails or whatever it is, you can put that into this prompt. But what the big kicker here is, before I start, I want you to truly understand my business and my customers. So this might be, ask me at least 20 questions I would possibly do about my business, my customers, and my audience, and anything else you need to do the task to the best of your ability. And then the big one is then any relevant copy, write it with SEO and AEO optimization. Now, when I did this the other day, it was for a blog. And what it did, actually, the content was no longer just written as headings, sort of statement headings. It was written as question headings. So that someone asks a question, that blog answers it. So this is a really good hack, and hopefully, this will, once you've done it once, it will remember it in your Chat GPT or whatever platform you're using, so that every time you then write content after that effect, it will take this into its equation when writing it. So just humanizing the chat for your business. The big one I've always said to people, or was that a question from anyone at all? Yeah, Jacob?
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I also realized before when I first joined that my microphone was just connected from my headset, so I apologize for that.
That's all right.
I was just wondering, just before we moved on from it, would incorporating the information that you said through like third-party platforms or widgets, like for example, like AlfSite for like Google reviews, does that impact the AEO versus directly just having that information on your website instead?
Look, I think I'm not sure of to be honest, I'm not sure of the impact at the moment of one and the other, but I would definitely be I don't think there would be any issue of having it on both. So even if you've asked the same question, I'd possibly get someone else to do it, Jacob. Get someone else in the team or externally to ask the questions you want. You go in as a business and answer them. And I don't think there would be any effect or a negative effect if you did that on your website with similar questions, possibly word it slightly differently.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, cool. Any other questions while we've paused here for the minute? No? Cool. Please do, when I am sharing, I seriously can't see anyone because I'm only on one screen. So I heard your little hand go up, which is good. And off we go. So I'll just present again. No issues at all with questions during this either, if anyone does have any. Yeah. Okay, big one. I can't stress this enough. I would put in your diary every 3 to 6 months, if not more, sit down and go, where are we today making our money? That old 80-20 rule. Where are we making our money? What industry sectors, what categories, what jobs, what are bringing in the dollars right now? And where do we see an opportunity to make money that we might not be doing at the moment, or we might not be focusing enough on? It's amazing. Most people don't actually understand that. And with that then builds out your industry sectors. So, on a website, and I'll run you through, and we'll talk a bit more about this when I show you a screen. But, the days of having one page that just says construction. Now, you're not a construction company. You do construction recruitment, and you have construction jobs, and you've got very different audiences for each of those. So you need to be targeting and making sure that you've got relevant content on there, that you're creating little bubbles within your brand, that when someone's looking for what it is you do, whether they're an employer looking for a recruitment agency that can find them construction talent, or whether they're a job seeker who's in construction that's looking for a job, we want them finding you, we want them landing in the right place, so that they go, oh my gosh, I'm exactly where I need to be. This is, holy grail. I found my recruiter, so that's what we need to do. But you can't do that if you don't understand what you do and where you make your money. No point optimizing for something that you're losing money on. So know your industry sectors. Do we specialize in civil engineering, construction? Do we specialize in heart surgeons, orthopedic surgeons, optometrists? What is it that you do? And then break it. You can break it down even further with silos off those industry sectors. But you need to focus on a job seeker communication and a employer communication. Different terminology, different audience, different content. This is the big one. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, we're in accounting recruitment. Well, excellent. But there's other opportunities around accounting. Don't be afraid to now go into accounting AI jobs, which are going to be a lot of. Every job's going to have an AI component, even if especially if you're in legal. People are going to know that you can recruit people with AI experience, because they're going to be the ones getting the jobs, and they're going to be the ones that the employers want. So start to think about what's coming, and strategize, talk to the team about, okay, where do we see the opportunities based on this massive change that's going on in the industry? So strategize there. As with everything we talk about, if you build it and you don't look at, well, how's it performing and is it actually working? Use data and analytics and facts for proof with what you're doing. For clients on the call, if you aren't clients, I apologize, but for our clients, it's very easy to see data and analytics behind the platform to really understand where are people coming from, where the conversions for jobs coming from, and then be able to optimize based on that. So it's the old thing, stop wasting money, stop wasting time, know your data, know your facts, and fish where the fish are. Or entice the fish to come to you because you've got really good bait. That's what you want to be doing. Keep assessing it. It should be changing all the time. If you're not currently using your website to attract and convert people, you need to think about that strategy. And I'm always here to catch up and run through opportunities there. And we are going to touch upon some of them now. But there are a lot of opportunities and a lot of ways you can do that. You just need to take the time to step back and think about it, because you can build it quite quickly and start to see it convert. Big one, so many people are wasting time and money on buying all this fandangle new AI tech. Half of it's not even AI, but that's another conversation. And they're locking themselves into long-term contracts with tech providers. I'd be saying to you, in this extremely fast-moving industry, pace, time of our lives, don't sign long-term lock-in contracts, because things are changing rapidly and you need to remain at the head of the curve, and being slammed into a long-term contract isn't the way to be able to do that. Website architecture, I touched upon this before, and there's actually a screenshot there that'll make more sense. We'll talk about that in a sec. Do go check your mobile devices. Make sure you're happy with it. For anyone using our technology, know that you can customize your mobile. So like if you want to put a click to call button somewhere, you can add that to the mobile device, but not have it on the desktop. Simple things like that. Like you might want to remove clutter from your mobile device. Like there's an extra video there that you think that's great on a desktop, but we probably shouldn't clog up a mobile with that. You can actually hide things. So simple things like that, just, customizing your mobile experience, make sure it's good for your user. Legal compliance and accessibility. We do have free accessibility tools. It's the little icon that'll appear up on there where you can click on it, and it will give all different options of hiding videos, changing screen colors, increasing fonts, pausing videos, all of those sorts of things, as well as paid versions. So if you're interested in accessibility, that's another thing that, if you're trying to sort of tick every box for SEO and AEO, that's probably a good one to be thinking about putting on there. Obviously, compliance from a technology perspective, we're in recruitment, we see a lot of clients coming to us because they're on WordPress. They're concerned. They're normally publicly listed companies that are concerned about security. So, from a compliance perspective, make sure the companies you're working with are highly secure. Like, we went out and got ISO certification because we knew that was, one of the hierarchies of being an extremely compliant organization, as well as having a platform that's highly secure. Really important. Landing pages, so many opportunities for these. We'll discuss that in a moment. We've discussed updating your content regularly. You should be constantly adding to it. Be thinking for SEO, each page that you write content for, you should be having at least sort of 600 to 800 words on a page to help it be SEO optimized. Once again, back to my point before, make sure you can track everything, understand what's going on, spend a little bit of time looking at that so that you can understand, the success of what's going on. But remember, probably the big point on this, you don't want mass traffic. You don't want thousands of people coming to your website. You want the highly relevant ones coming to your website and converting. So we're not looking for mass traffic. We're looking for quality traffic. Do embrace AI. Keep up to date with what's going on. Don't waste too much time on a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, what we're doing here is pretty basic. From, really for everyone listening to this, I know it's not basic. It's very hard. That's why we're all in this sector. But it's really, you just want the right people finding you. And when they find you, they have a perfect experience. They find what they want quickly and they can convert into the next thing. So just try to keep that in mind and don't overthink it. We will touch upon later, and Rick will actually show that. We've got a pretty cool new area, which is membership areas. I've got a lot of people sort of talking at the moment about creating community groups where they can engage with their audiences a bit more to get that stickiness. Things like that are going to keep people coming back to your brand. Just drinking before I lose my voice. Okay. When we talk architecture, I just wanted to run through this very quickly again because it is so important. You've got two streams of people you want finding you. The job seeker, they're looking for jobs. Now, this is where do I make my money? Where do I want to make my money? What is it we actually do? A lot of people don't even know, I don't think. But you've got to break it down into sectors. Do you do construction? Do you do civil and infrastructure jobs? Break it down so that it's clear. And each of those sector pages, as we saw just here, this one here, the URL should be called financial services jobs. The H1 or the heading should be financial services jobs, all focused on a job seeker. All the content here should talk about how your business is an expert at placing these people placing talent into these jobs, and then you can pull through relevant blogs and pretty much building a little destination specifically for financial services jobs. So you need to set that out for where do you make your money? Where do you want to make your money? Those sectors. These things are also very important for the new answer engines. So I would be like this, and now this stream here is for the employer that lands on your brand. They're looking for a recruitment agency. So the terminology will be different. You'll be talking about different things. You can show different blogs. The other things you potentially should have on here as well is financial services recruitment. I would have FAQs on here around, answer those questions that you regularly get asked in this sector. Will be very beneficial as well. But the more interlinking as well you can do in your website. So, linking the relevant recruiters through to the relevant industry sector pages, jobs, blogs. The more interlinking will also help with SEO and time spent on site and usability. Anyone who's using Shazamme will already have this, but it might seem simple, but it's extremely complex. There's a lot of things that go behind your job ads to make them SEO optimized. From the URL structure, which you can now, if you want to, customize the URL structure of your job ads, so that if there's particular things that are very important to you, you can so that could be a location. Let's say you recruit in, country Victoria, and you want to put the country or the suburb or whatever in the URL as an example. You can structure your URL so that it pulls that through from your job feed. If you're not at the moment getting your recruiters to socially share their jobs out into the World Wide Web, so with a click of a button, if I was the recruiter for this job, I could click on share on LinkedIn. It would share it to my LinkedIn profile, but I can also share this job directly into the groups that I'm a member of. So I might say, hi, admin, I hope you don't mind me sharing, and I share that job. So a really good one to get the brand out into the right places. Make sure you're getting everyone to sign up for job alerts, because it's the easiest way to get people coming back. But main point, this needs to be optimized. So important. If you're using Shazamme, it already is. Okay, landing pages. I will show you an example of this and talk through that, but really it's a destination page. It can be hidden from your navigation, so you could co-brand with clients and no one would know unless you shared the page with them. You can even password protect pages. I've got quite a few people using landing pages at the moment to present talent back to hiring managers or employers, and they include videos and different things, as well as using them pretty much as secret campaigns for hard to fill roles, or roles they might have multiple of. If you're doing any paid advertising, make sure you're using landing pages. Drive your traffic through to a designated landing page. Track data, analytics on everything, so you know what's working and what's not. Try multiple versions, see which one works the best. So as an example of this landing page here, Davidson is a recruitment agency. Box Hill Institute is the client. This is the CEO of the institute talking about what he's looking for in his next hires within the TAFE college. A lot of my clients are building out landing pages for each of the employer brands they work with. They'll include things like the org structure, the vision, the purpose, potentially a video of the building or the seat they'll be sitting in. The jobs can stream through to this page automatically, or you can also, if it was harder to fill roles, you might have a register for further information on these landing pages. They'll share them out, or they'll reach out to people via LinkedIn and ask if, your profile looks great. We've got an amazing opportunity. Would you like to know more? I'll send you the secret landing page. They'll send the link of this page through to talent. And on the flip side, when they build these landing pages for showcasing talent they've got available, they may also use a passcode and reach out saying, hi, McDonald's, I see you're trying to recruit for a CFO. I'm lucky enough to have 2 amazing ones available at the moment. Would you like me to send you the secret landing page with a passcode? And they go, wow, this sounds pretty cool. And then they can go through to a page that you've set up with a video of you talking about the 2 candidates that you're putting forwards. And you might share that page with 20 companies, not just McDonald's. So think about landing pages. Really, you can use them for any purpose. Embrace QR codes if you are doing any sort of visual advertising. The scan of a QR code can drive you directly through to any page you've created on your website. So that could be, what are the latest salaries in, for astronauts? So they scan the QR code and they could go through to that page. So there's a lot of power in there with these landing pages. I touched on this before, but please make sure we've got 135 Google reviews now. Thank you very much. If you're a client, you've not left one yet, please do it. But you should be posting content to Google Business just like you do to LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or wherever else you post. You need to own as much of the real estate of your brand on Google as you possibly can. And the way you're going to do that is by filling it all out, getting reviews. So important to get those reviews. If you don't have it yet, get those Google reviews also showing on your website. That's important too. Builds trust, helps with AEO and SEO. The more Google reviews you can get. But yeah, if you've not gone there yet, go and massage that Google business page. Also do Bing is also getting extremely important. ChatGPT pulls a lot of its information out of Bing. It's a big, I think it's a 40% owner in Bing, or I think that's the way it worked. But either way, they're very connected. So make sure you go to Bing, which I probably need to go do myself thinking about it, and the other search engines that are out there, and get yourself listed on the directory. Post content to that. We do have a tool. It's not mentioned actually in this presentation, but a multi-posting tool that will post content to all of your social media platforms, including ChatGPT at one time, and it can also post to all of your recruiters' profiles on LinkedIn once as well, which if you want to hear more, just let us know. Okay. The big one that I'm being asked for currently is, okay, how do we now attract employers to our brand? So I've included some tips here to think about it. These are some of these are tools that are built within the Shazamme platform. They're sort of separate modules because not everyone wants them. But this is the ability to have rather than a job board, you've got a talent board. And you can create up as many of these as you want. So my example before about creating a landing page with talent on it, you could actually create, latest accounting talent available today. And then you could actually have a talent board under it with a video of you talking about, we've got some amazing talent, has just come through. And then people can actually search via keyword to find what it is they're looking for if you want. And then it will return those results, and then they can click on the one that looks interesting, read more information on those people, and you can choose what you show in there. Could be videos, could be linked to a resume. It could be, just basic teaser information without giving their whole history. And then they can inquire about those people. So submitting a form, there's different layouts. There's also the ability, this is a pretty cool one. It can be called just placed. So building, that you're placing CFOs all the time or CMOs, building that trust in the fact that you can deliver. But also this can be available now. So these can be plonked on anything that's employer facing. And so think blogs, and I've got an example of this in a sec, but if you write a blog that's employer facing, you could include available now and have live talent streaming through, or just placed to build that trust, those have been awesome. And yeah, there's lots of ways you can use this. Just dream it up and bring it to life. They're talking about blogs. So in this example down the bottom right here, what we're showing is just adding a job search widget to the bottom of a blog. So people could literally, they've just read a blog about, what are the best skills to become a sales director in 2025? And then down the bottom are all the sales director jobs streaming through, because you can just on these widgets, if you don't know, you can just say, only show sales director jobs located in Australia. And then that's what it'll show. And then you can customize the look and the feel. The same way I spoke about before, you could drop in the exact same way, the talent feed. So show all the sales directors that are available, because this is a blog that I've written to talk about how do you attract the best sales directors and what should you be looking for. So with your blogs now, think about AEO. Are you looking best legal jobs in Australia? Question mark. What are the best legal jobs in Australia? And then answer the questions in your blogs. So think about that. Also linking. Make sure that you're also driving linkage back to any relevant pages on your websites for. So if it was an accounting blog, you might, and it was focused on employers, you might want to drive them back to the accounting recruitment page, industry sector page that you've built on your brand. This will help definitely increase conversions. It'll keep people engaging with your brand, especially if you're pushing your blogs out into the World Wide Web. You've got a little bit of your website going along with it to drive people back. Yeah, so all of this helps with search engine optimization, but if written and structured correctly, AEO as well. New features, brand new release, digital salary guide. So think, you know, the old format of a salary guide, but now it can be digitalized. Now this one, as well as the talent feed and the talent showcase, is all driven off a Google Sheet. So you drive the industry sectors, you drive the locations, what they're all called, whether you've got permanent or casual or contract or whatever it is, you can customize all this. The idea is you can create as many as you like, break them all down into industry sectors, subsectors, locations, and then you can pull through salaries and build these out. This to me is very highly relevant. Like, I know that some of the most searches that go on in the World Wide Web are employers that are looking for, what should I pay an XYZ person? So they'll search for that. And if you've got a digital salary guide, chances are, if you can do the FAQs at the bottom of it, get people coming directly to your salary guide, it's going to be awesome. And then the same thing is talent's always looking at, well, what should I be paid as one of these people in today's age? So by building out these salary guides, it's another module within Shazamme that you can add to your platform. And actually this one, even if you're not a Shazamme client, you can actually have a digital salary guide. Just reach out. But yeah, these can be built out very quickly and easily, and you can stream jobs through to them and everything else. So just another good attraction strategy to get people to your brand. So all driven off a Google Sheet, the same as the talent showcase. You import the data and all the data is displayed here. Wow. Okay, I'm going to take a breather now. We're going to head over to membership and communities with Rick. Rick, are you showing anything live, or do you want me just to do the screen share here?
Just do the screen share, not showing anything live.
Cool.
Great. All right. Thank you, Nicole. That was very interesting and obviously great content. Membership and communities are really getting a lot of inquiries for people, clients of ours, how they can engage with their clients and candidates in a better way. So there's two real streams here. There's your clients that you can create membership communities for, where they might be able to get interview tips or forms or whatever you can think of, gated content or white papers, ebooks, etc., where you can provide relevant content with your clients. And then same with your candidates. If you've got a big contractor base, you can create communities where you can share content, courses. Like, there is really no limit. So as you can see here down the bottom, you can provide online courses, podcasts, communities, professional services, anything that you want to control the access to, you can do through the community membership side of things. Now, this allows you also, if you wanted to, you can charge for it, and you can create multiple communities. So you may have one for AI people, one for developers, one for clients. So you could have multiple different membership communities on your site that you can control how they see it, what they see, and whether you charge them or not. So it's really quite powerful. Nick, did you want to add anything before you skip to the next slide?
I'll add stuff in a sec. Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see here, this is a screen grab where you can charge them, make it free, etc. It's really about thinking what else you can offer your clients to make them see that you're well ahead of your competitors, and how you can grow your communities and share content. So it is quite cool how you can do that. Nicole?
Yeah, cool. So I personally see this, once again, it's about jumping into these things, especially if you're in niche areas, as well, and building these communities where it's a destination to drive highly relevant people into those areas. So one of our clients, as an example, in the US, has a membership area that's got things like awards. Oh, do you want to mute yourself, Rick?
Yeah.
They've got like a calendar of events. They've got training. They've got videos, downloadable content, all sorts of awesome things that's going to attract people to come in there because they want to be part of it. Now, with this, I'm not sure whether Rick mentioned this, but you can actually have the membership where anyone's auto approved, or you can have it that it's a bit more exclusive and you need to approve them to be allowed in there. So let's imagine it's the heart surgeons community, and I don't know how many heart surgeons there are in the world, but probably a really bad example. But it'd be a tight little group, I'm sure, if they join it all. But in there is all things that are relevant to that space, that sector. Could have salary information, things like that. Just to once again, and I was just thinking, Rick, as you were speaking about that, down the track, like depending on your industry and how large it is and how many, how big you are as a company, you could potentially then charge your clients to advertise within the community. So whether that's, putting some branding up or, things like that to get in front of your communities, could be quite interesting as well. But yeah, community groups, I love this. We've been asked for it for many years, and yeah, it's finally available. So
Good. Yeah.
Want to know more?
We've got 9 minutes left, Nicole. So let's
go
through it. So integrations. Yeah. So integrations with ATSs is super important for us, and luckily we've been able to really advance things with integrations to have forms and screening questions. We have it currently with Bullhorn Job Adder, Loxo, and very small amount with Salesforce as well. But what this allows you to do is really start to create ways to filter the process down, and to create lead forms, etc., to make sure you get quality content in your database. So the way it works is that you have screening questions separate to forms, and you can have conditional logic in that. So if A, then give B, C, D, E, and if D, give X, Y, Z. So you can have conditional logic, can have knockout questions. So the use case that we've used quite a lot are you able to work in the USA? If they answer no, then a pop-up comes up. Unfortunately, we can't help you, and send you to a landing page where it may have a video and some more information as to what they need to do. So it helps you clean up sort of your database. The leads and registrations as well, you can have questions added to that, and they will flow into your ATS as well. So it's quite cool. There's some other hidden gems in there, like default values. So we've got clients with massive amount of brands on one system, and they need default values added for certain things. So we have that as well. Now we've really covered every possible scenario by now of how we have screening questions and forms integrated. That list will grow to other ATSs as well, but right now it's only for really the top ones that we work with.
The fact you can do it for employers and job seekers, to me, is a absolute game changer. Another one we've been asked about for ages, and it's now available.
Cool. Won't go on here too much, but it's in the same realm as the previous slide. Part of what you can ask, you can now tailor what you want a candidate in their portal to update. So if you run medical, you may say, give me your latest 5 certificates or whatever it is. If they're a forklift driver asking for the forklift driver. So it can be very much tailored on a client-by-client basis. So no longer is it rigid. So typically, the platforms that the space that we play in, you get one flavor for everyone. You now have the ability to customize it based on your requirements. So that's pretty cool as well. So
and all that pushes straight into Bullhorn.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We can run over, but don't stress. Manuel, I'll just quickly stop presenting and let you take over to talk about chatbots.
Sure. So I start now.
You can share your screen. What we'll first say is we do have free chatbots you can use, but we also have some other great variations, and introducing Manuel to everyone that will take us quickly through that.
Yes. Hello, I'm Manuel. So chatbots are important right now because people like to use chatbots. They really like it. So it's not only because of the search and using ChatGPT and all those new tools that people are getting so used to use, but we also see it in our business, right? We have people reaching out via chat every day. So to have a chatbot on your side is a very cool thing to have because it can make your visitors or customers' lives easier. So for example, let's see this one. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so here, this is an example of the chat that we have on Shazamme right now. This one is fully customizable. You can see the branding here. You can also have different branding, different colors for the backgrounds, the bubbles, the logos, everything. You can have videos popping up when you open the chat, or even video responses. It's very cool. If you're a job seeker, let's say what it does. It gives you the option to go to different pages orientated for job seekers. So it's going to think a little bit and give you the options. Let's say you want to see the sectors for a job seeker uptick. Then let's see, I want to see accounting and finance. There we are. You can link all of these options to specific pages. Let's see, start again. And then let's see the employer side of the chatbot, hiring staff. It will give you a message. All these messages are fully customizable. And then you're going to have, again, options for employers. So let's say that your visitor wants to talk to a real person, right? Because we like everything to be automated, but some people, they just want to talk to someone on the other end. They can request a live chat. And then let's say they want assistance on sales recruitment. I'm going to get a notification here. And this is a new chat that I can open. And then I can just open this new chat and talk to this person. So let's say, how can I help you? And then they wanted to submit a CV, right? They want to just give it to someone. I would just go to the submit a CV page, but let's say they want to do it here, right? They can just go ahead and do it. Can click document, submit the CV, and send it. And then I can receive it here, open it here. They can open it on their end. So it's very cool to have this kind of tools because it can help people feel more integrated, you and your business, make it seem easier for them to just navigate your website. I mean, we make websites as simple as possible, and we always recommend our clients to make it very easy to navigate. But these things, they are really, really cool to have because some clients, they just are not used to the layout of recruitment websites, or some job seekers are not used to the recruitment layout, so they can just use the chatbot. And we don't only have this chatbot, the Shazamme one, which I recommend because we have direct support with it. If you want to add new things, if you want to recommend new things to add as product updates, we can do that. But if you want to use free chatbots, we also have free options like Chalk2, or even third parties if you want to bring a third party to the website. All of those options are easily integrated with the site via HTML code or even widgets that they offer for the site builder. So can you want to go ahead, Nicole, again? You're muted.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. And just to say, that particular chatbot that Manuel just showed, that one, I like that because it looks great. Not like a lot of the chatbots you see that are, they just look horrendous, I think. But anyway, you can really customize the look and the feel. It looks well branded. That was the structured one where you can create multiple streams, so the job seeker and the hiring, and you can really delve out and dive as deep and send them through to landing pages and all the rest. But video is a great one with that, and you can also have the ability to send people through to specific through to specific recruiters and stuff too, based on what's relevant. There is an AI version as well that can be customized. So yeah, just if you are interested in chatbots, there's heaps out there, but as we've tried to do with everything, we don't want people wasting money unnecessarily on technology. And as you'll see in a minute, when we share some of the new things we're potentially in the pipeline, we're all about keeping the pricing fair, but also having cutting edge tech that's going to help our clients be more successful online. And so there's some pretty cool stuff that can help do that. If I could present my screen.
Also, may I add something else?
Yeah.
With the help of AI, on this chatbot, let me show you something real quick.
Yeah.
You can point candidates to specific jobs. So let's say that you don't follow the route of the buttons. You say, can you give me admin vacancies? Right? You don't even need to be super specific with what you write. Then the AI chatbot is going to think a little bit, and then it's going to give you vacancies for admin positions. So here we are. We have, this one is reception administration executive. This one is admin and events officer. So all of these are actual vacancies and job offers that you can go and open the page and apply to. So that's great about the AI version of the chatbot, because it can think and it can scan your website every day and know what's new and what's updated on it.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Okay. Good. Oh, thank you for that addition. Let me go back and share. Yeah, I like chatbots. I think it's not relevant for every audience, but I think it's relevant for quite a bit of the demographic, and I think it's a good idea to start thinking about embracing them for sure. Okay, so just quickly to new products. We've got some pretty cool things planned. We're always trying to solve problems that our clients are facing. A big one has been the cost and challenges with reference checking. So we do have a reference checking platform coming out very imminently. It'll first be available for job adder clients, reference checking, soon then after for the other ATSs, but it'll be fully integrated and it'll pull everything through. Modern, easy to use, and you can see some of the sort of screenshots here. The awesome one for me that I've wanted for ages is data and analytics. Being able to understand, press a button and pull multiple data points out of the ATS to be able to create beautiful reports on what is going on with your brand online. That one will be with Bullhorn first initially, and then shortly followed by Job Adder and Loxo. We do have an affiliate program. If there's anyone you think of that you might be suitable for Shazamme, do let us know. The other, Rick, what was that platform that we should have put that in here? What was that platform that we saw that people are using with Bullhorn and Job Adder that sort of almost replaces like LinkedIn Recruiter?
I think it was called Found Me.
Found Me.
Yeah, Found Me. So a lot of people in the UK are using
right. Yeah. So you've got this platform. We've had quite a few people talking about it. It's only $15 US a month or something. It apparently can cut the costs, and it's all fully integrated, so it'll keep your database updated with the click of a button in LinkedIn, update your content, tell you if people are in your database. You can see things about what's going on with them. Check it out. I think there's a free trial. Did they say? I think so. So do check that one out. Yeah. I think I'm getting close to the end. Luckily, everyone's not dead by PowerPoint. We do have a AI ebook if you wanted to scan that now, or as I said, we will send this through at your request. We've done a whole big book on what's going on because there's so much and it'll need to be updated regularly. I'll pause now for any questions. We are always here to help. Don't be a stranger. If you haven't seen them yet, we do have a range of masterclasses, SEO basics, what you should have on your website. Nothing's changed. There's lots of masterclasses in there. So, don't be a stranger. We want to help you guys.